And now, another keynote presentation by Johan Stenson, Head of Personal Center at VOLVO Cars, and Henrik Hvitfeldt, PhD student at KTH Royal Institute of Technology, will look at the zero prototypes paradigm from a different angle. Their presentation will focus on the change in mindset required to take the next step in the evolution towards zero prototypes. As an example of the application of this mindset, Henrik Hvitfeldt's research on motion queuing will be presented.
Hello, everyone. Buongiorno. Good afternoon. No response. Are you awake? Good. So thank you for having us here. I will let Henrik up on the stage in a few minutes. I will start with a brief story first. But we are really happy to get the invitation to be here and hopefully inspire with this keynote speak. So, we want to support our customers' daily life. We don't want to do it sometimes, we want to do it every day. We want to provide an effortless and engaging experience that is founded on confidence, enhanced by convenience, and driven by passion. So imagine that you are like 5.5, 6 hours ago, you left this beautiful landscape in the northern part of Sweden, we can say, on your way home after a beautiful week in the ski slopes. Until now, you haven't really been you haven't been quite sure on how your new car will support you in your way home. After all, it's a dramatically different from the car you drove before. And it was not always so easy to convince your friends about the brilliance of changing to something completely new. But anyways, your friends are skeptical, and you know that, so you kind of look past that. Despite the long drive, you are relaxed. It was not exhausting after all. The winter road conditions were far from ideal, and but you quickly understood that you can trust your car, you can trust your vehicle, and the vehicle's handling, and also the active supporting systems you felt early on would keep you steady on the road. The interior of your car is amazing, and the sound system, wow. That rocky intro of the music that started to play was just mind-blowing. The car is full of ski equipment, but you know that there is still room for some groceries because the fridge is completely empty, you know, when you will come home. So you can swing by and get some groceries to feed yourself and the family for the next coming week and continue to live a good life, even at home. This could be my personal driving experience story. What does your story look like? You don't have to answer now if you don't absolutely want to. But I will leave you with that open question and let Henrik up on stage. Thank you for now.
Thank you very much, Johan. So hi, my name is Henrik Hvitfeldt. As you heard, I'm a PhD student at Royal Institute of Technology, but I'm also collaborating with VOLVO Cars in developing their motion queuing. So we'll talk a bit about driving simulators, and they pose a paradigm shift in how we develop vehicles. We're able to assess vehicles much faster, we can find faults early in the project, and we can hone in to where we want to be with the vehicles. And we can do this in a controlled, repeatable environment. This means that we can build safer cars, we can build more advanced cars, and we can align the cars to our mission as an OEM manufacturer. But how do we leverage these advantages? One case that we have is winter testing. So winter testing, it's very, very important for us. As Johan described, winter driving is within the Volvo DNA. We want to be good at it. But shorter winters, less time with prototypes, means that we have a challenge. And at the same time, we have higher requirements on our vehicles. But we see that driving simulators, it's one of the most important solutions to solve this challenge. It means that we can come more prepared for winter driving. It means that we can be less dependent on weather. You know, when you go to northern part of Sweden, in the night it can be minus 30 degrees, and then during the day it's plus 5. So the conditions change during the whole day. They don't change in a driving simulator. It means that we can rapidly develop new systems, new wheel suspension. We can build better cars faster. But there is a challenge with this. And the challenge, one big challenge, is the mindset of our test drivers. So we need to have test drivers to evaluate the vehicles in a driving simulator. Drivers, they're used to physical testing. They drive thousands and thousands of miles, physical vehicles, trying to find the nitty-pitty parts of the vehicle that can improve steering, handling, and ride. So how do we help change their mindset so they can use the driving simulator as a tool in their toolbox? We see that motion cueing is a key aspect. It's a key aspect to help drivers change their mindset. So 2020, Volvo Cars and KTH, Royal Institute of Technology, set out to understand how to objectively tune motion cueing. So I will just discuss 2 experiments that we have done very, very briefly. The first part was we investigated the roll axis. So we have one setting A. That roll axis is where we thought it should be, but we got feedback that wasn't really aligned with what we were, let's say, expecting. So we started to investigate this. Used very simple models, used optimization to find a new point of where the roll axis in the simulator, of course, should be. So we got setting B. Of course, going from motion sickness inducing to fun to drive, easy to adapt to. That's very positive and helps our drivers. The next experiment we did was targeting slip feedback in winter test conditions. So slip feedback is, of course, very, very important in winter driving. And now we have setting B, once again, from the previous experiment as a reference. And then we took that, and ViaGrade have a really nice feature in their motion cueing, where you can separate out the slip dynamics. So we took that feature, and we used, once again, simple models, optimization, to tune this motion cueing. And in the end, 6 out of 6 test drivers preferred this motion cueing compared to setting B. If you look at feedback, once again, we see that we made an improvement. We saw that we had words like amazing. It felt natural. You can really feel when the car started to lose stability. So why do I describe this? Why is this important for driving simulators? Well, we see this as an important step in changing the mindset of our test drivers. They need to feel natural. They need to feel that they're actually test driving the vehicle that they're supposed to evaluate, that they spend time in the simulator which produce value to our projects. So before coming here, I just asked 3 drivers, how do you feel that the development in the simulator has gone forward since we started this project? And yeah, you can read for yourself, but I think it speaks of how we have managed to improve the mindset of our vehicles to use virtual testing in their toolbox. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Henrik. And as the last part of this presentation, I want to continue talking a bit about mindset that Henrik already touched on. But before, sorry, there we are. Just to do a quick summary, we understand that designing our future cars will, that are even more fit for purpose, will require us to use new simulation methods, models, and tools that covers more load cases, where the winter case is one part that Henrik touched upon. But it also requires a willingness to expand your circle of control and actually dare to explore the unknown. To talk about that, and I know now, Henrik, that next time I talk about mindset, I will use you and not this guy. Anyone knows who it is? And Kalle, you're not allowed to answer. Yes, Roger Bannister. What did he do?
Run 1 mile less than 4 minutes.
Good. Yes, that's what he did.
First time.
Yeah. And people had tried for like 9 years to make this happen after a Swedish guy named Gunder Hägg almost broke that dream barrier of 4 minutes for an English mile. He missed it by 1 second. And yeah, people had tried and tried, but no one succeeded. Physicians and doctors at this time, it was around 1945, 46, told the elite runners of the world that it's impossible. The body is not made for running faster than what Gunder Hägg did. Amazing statement, but that's how it was. Everyone listened except from Roger Bannister. He thought, I have just not found the right method yet. So by trying, never giving up, he managed to do this 9 years later. What's even more cool with that story is that after he had done it, around 50 runners in the world repeated the same thing during the 2 years coming. So he gave name to this, the Bannister effect that you may have heard about, showing that something that was considered to be impossible, all of a sudden being possible, and then it's possible. And not anyone, but many people can do it, as opposed to before when no one could do it. So that's why Bannister is on the picture, never giving up and exploring the unknown. The second part of this picture comes from a US researcher, Carol Dweck, from Stanford University, who defined a model regarding mindset. On the left, the blue mindset defines a fixed mindset where you kind of give up easily to any kind of obstacles that you may bump into. You tend to never learn from feedback, and you believe that the brain capacity that you were born with is what will serve you for the rest of your life. On the other hand, the green mindset she calls growth mindset, which is actually the physical case of the human body. We are able to expand our brain our whole life if we just continue to learn from trying to expand our comfort zone. By embracing challenges, by seeing effort as the path of mastery, by looking at how others do, in our case maybe looking at other fields and see what we can learn, and learn from feedback. And I think you, Henrik, you are a good example of someone who is trying to move things a bit, and not only for yourself but also for the test drivers that you have educated. So I think that's a good example. So next time I will have you running on the picture.
You don't want to see that.
Okay. Yes, that was all for us. I want to leave you with this question, looking into your future. how will you expand your comfort zone? What's kind of the one thing or the first thing that you want to do when you leave this conference? Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.